Alrighty, dude. Let's just get right into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to, I guess, this YouTube episode where I'm going to take some time to answer some questions that you guys had asked me via Instagram. I appreciate you guys taking the time to go ahead and ask me a question. So it's going to be easy peasy, dude. I have my questions right here. I got my recording right here. I'm watching it right here. And I have my Joe Rogan CBD energy drink right here, dude. So I'm ready to go. I'm missing one thing. And I have my best friend in the whole wide world here. I guess I don't really need this anymore. So it's funny when you have a plan, an idea of what you want to do, how it possibly could go down, and it just doesn't happen. It's just part of everything, dude. I'm just gonna go old school and go straight old school, huh? Hey, old school Eric? Definitely using your phone. Very new school world problem. So we're gonna get into it. The very first question I have is from my comadre Naya Salazar 13. And she asked me, your favorite quote or saying? I don't know like my favorite quote or saying is like off the top of my head. I do have Stay Gold tattooed on me. It is on a banner like up here, it's out of frame. I have Stay Gold tattooed on me. I talked about it in my live earlier. Stay Gold has been a big one for me because it's in my youth, it was nice. It was a good inspiration. It was a nice one to always go back on, and it always kept me focused, and it always reminded me to be myself and to stick to that. So Stay Gold has been one for me that has always held a special place in my heart. So to answer that question, I would say favorite quote or saying would be Stay Gold for sure. The next question is from the Slob on the Pod. What does podcasting do for you? It does a lot. It allows me the opportunity to practice the art of conversation, which is difficult. Like if anybody on here has ever done a podcast, you know when you go back and you listen to yourself on a podcast, first couple of times it's kind of like cringy. This last podcast that I did with Jordan, I was super cringy because I hadn't done one in forever, and you get excited and you just understand how many times you say like, yeah, stuff like that to fill in dead air. And even right now, I'm putting that stuff into practice now, and it just helps me. It just helps me because after going back and listening to myself talk, because really what other way do you have an opportunity to watch yourself speak unless somebody makes a video of you? Other than that, podcast is the only other way where you can go back and listen to yourself. And it's cool because it's a nice way to reflect, practice the art of conversation, practice listening and speaking and just, working out ideas with friends and people and your guests that you have on. So for me, it's very therapeutic. I like it a lot, and I actually miss doing it. So I'm in the process of trying to focus a little bit more my energy on podcasts and things like this because it's really fun for me and it seems to be beneficial for others as well. So, I hope so. Cool. Thank you, brother, for that question. Wanderness and Root, or what's your next tattoo going to be? At the time, I hadn't had the one I just got, but I had just got the eagle tattoo. It's this one. Eagle. I'm sorry. My owl tattoo. I just got the owl tattoo, so this one's not done yet, so I still have to go back and get color. So technically, this is my next one. So yeah, it was the owl. Speed of Life Media. How did you get the opportunity to work with Matt? So I like telling this story. This is cool because there was a lot of people involved with getting the job with HWPO and with Matt and Sammy. I had gone to the games in 2019, and I had gone with lab management, and I had the honor to shoot Bethany, Carrie, and Amanda Barnhart, and it was awesome. I loved it. It was a great experience. To be able to go to the games once was amazing, and it was cool, and I'm thankful for X Endurance and lab management for letting me go. It was awesome. So fast forward to this past year, 2021, I had been kind of waiting, and my buddy of mine, shout outs to Fabian, had sent me the link for the post that HWPO had posted looking for somebody to take pictures at the games for them. and I just applied for it. Like, I just put my name in, put some references in, and next thing you know, I got a contact, and it was from Sammy, and I had got an email. It was an email from Sammy, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait a second, this was really happening? Like, I kind of just applied for the job as like a goof because I thought I was going to go with somebody already. I thought I was going to go to the games some other way. So, yeah, I got the email from Sammy, and it was kind of weird. I couldn't believe it, and I had a hard time processing if it was real, because I was like, there's no fucking way. Like, no, dude. And sure enough, it was real, and I had some people involved in that hiring process that put a good word for me. Shout outs to Cooper Marsh. My guy has been on for me since day one. Cooper, Michelle, Jason, Andrew, all those people down at X Endurance Lab Management, they've been so good to me that, without them, I wouldn't even have the opportunity to had even been prepared for something like that. So, and obviously everybody at the gym at Hidden Valley, and, all of that family. So being fortunate enough to know those people put me in the position to get that job. So I'm very thankful for all of them. So, and that's kind of how it happened. And next thing you know, I'm talking to Sammy and O'Keefe on the phone, and shortly after that, I was on a plane to Madison, Wisconsin, and we shot the games. And it was one of the coolest experiences I had ever gotten to do, and to meet Matt and Sammy, and to meet my guy Vakey and Jake Marconi. It was an honor. It was cool. I met some really awesome people and made some rad friends that weekend. So yeah, it's definitely one for the books. This one's for my friend, longtime friend McKenna Bailey. What's good, girl? She said, worst coworker you ever had, and why is it Michaela? It's definitely not you. You're one of my favorites. I appreciate you. A question that she had was, who or what is your dream to shoot? So I like this question because, to be able to shoot with Matt is an honor. The idea of shooting with Matt never even crossed my mind, like, in full transparency. So to be able to go do that was wild for me. Like, it's cool. It's amazing. It's one of the sickest things I've been able to do. And to be able to continuously work with him is just something that I'm more than grateful for. So I just make sure I'm healthy and I'm good, and I do my best and not to fuck that one up. A dream shoot would actually be to shoot with like a brand like Rook, because I'm a big fan of like their artist network program and the way that they collaborate with artists and stuff, and it would be a dream to be able to do something like that. So yeah, something with Ruka, and to keep working with like these amazing individuals, like these people that inspire me. Like, it's cool to be able to work with Matt, people like that, and with Josh Bridges, and and I would like to keep working with different individuals. Like, even thinking about like the Ruka, sponsors, like people like Rose Namajunas, like my favorite skateboarders, like Chris Cole, people like that. To meet legends in their space is what would be amazing for me. I just want to keep meeting these legends in their space, and learn from them, and pick their brains, and just be in their presence. And that's the kind of stuff I want to keep doing. What keeps you inspired with long-term clients? Why am I spacing? I guess it's up for interpretation. Knowing McKenna, it's kind of that way. She asked me a question, I answer it the way I think. Would be to help them grow and help their business evolve organically. Keep working with them, and as they scale up, to be able to contribute in any way that I can, whether if that's photo design, just to be able to help that in any which way is what then essentially inspires me to keep doing what I do. So it's a very good question, McKenna. It stumped me for a little bit, but not for long. So these next 3 questions are from the homie, Sammy Moniz, dude. This first question that Sammy had is, have you ever considered moving to the East Coast? Now I have, and I'm down. Let's go. To Vermont we go, dude. But as long as I can bring Baby Yoda. Compound. You want to go to the snow? We're down, 100%. Let's go to the East Coast, dude. Next question that Sammy asked is, do you sell Lightroom presets? At the moment, I do not. But if it's for Sammy Moniz, dude, I might sell you a preset. We'll see. Maybe. Not yet. But possibly. What is your daily skincare routine? I don't know if this is a goof, dude. I really don't have a daily skincare routine, to be honest. I probably should. It's probably kind of gross. I really don't wash my face, to be honest. I probably should. And you know what? You're opening a can of worms here, dude. So when I was a kid, I had really bad acne. like bad acne. Like I have a scar. If people look at me on the left side of my face, I have a scar on my face, and that's from picking at my face. Like, granted, yes, everybody has acne. It's my fault why I have a scar because I'm picking at my face. I understand that. But for me, I spend so much time trying to like figure out my face situation, which in retrospect is like a diet issue. When I was a kid, I used to eat like shit, like mini mamas, those little like round pizzas, and like Tostino's pizza rolls, and cookies, and like Gatorade, and stuff like that. Bad diet, bad pores, oily skin, acne. And I use Proactive, Clearasil, like thought about using Accutane, shit like that. So I had like spent so much time trying different stuff on my face that it like got exhausting. So one day, like in my 20s, it just clicked and I didn't have acne anymore, and I just stopped using stuff. Really, honestly, it's just like hot water, and that's it, dude. I don't put like soap or anything on my face, and my face feels great. So I wish it was a better answer. I wish I could tell you like a list of products that I use, but I literally don't do anything for my skin. I really like doing those little like face mask things. We did one on a podcast, and it made my skin feel great. Whenever I go to the East Coast, I'll do one. If you have one, if you have those face masks, I'll do one. And maybe Matt will do one too. If you have suggestions, I'm down to hear it. This next question is from my dude, Rowdy Bridges. He said, who was the coolest person you met at the games and why was it me? Shout out to Rowdy Bridges, dude. It was day one. Vakey and I were walking around, and this guy comes up to us super friendly and asks us, where are we from, who we shooting for, stuff like that. And it's kind of like common, like when you're shooting the games, like especially if you're new. Like for me, it was like my second year. I'm not familiar with everybody. I'm just like, what's your name, blah, 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 how you here, who you shooting for. And it's cool to see people that are shooting for different people. And this guy had just happened to drive. I forgot where you're from, Rowdy, but he drove all the way to the games, and he was camping. It was pretty sick. And we met him and ran into him at the games, and, pretty nice guy. So, and, everybody that we, like, I was telling my friends and, people that I know that's never been to the games, it's like the games is such a wicked environment. All these people who are just trying to live their best life, healthy people who are there to watch the fittest on earth do what they do. So everybody there is just like in a good mood, and Rowdy was like a very good example of the types of people that are at the games. So it was good to meet you, brother, and thank you for the question. It's not really a question, but I'm glad I have everybody here still. Halfway through the Rogie drink, and these are great. I don't have sponsors. I would love to have sponsors. In order for me to like reach out to people, I gotta do these more consistently, and I understand that. I have a list of sponsors I would like. Cafecito would be wicked. Cactus Kush would be wicked. Liquid IV would be rad. Who would be sick? Dude, honestly, anybody who's willing to support this thing that we're doing, that'd be wicked. The reason why I say that is because I got these from Cactus Kush, and they're Joe Rogan's Kill Cliffs, the CBD. They got 25 milligrams of CBD. They're very good. And if you need some CBD as well, go ahead and go to Cactus Kush. It's good shit. We're moving along. Next question is from So Katie. She said, what was the atmosphere like in Madison? Honestly, it's a lot of like positive energy in the air. Like, just to reiterate, you're there watching the fittest on earth do essentially what you do. Most people that go to the CrossFit Games actually do CrossFit. Like, you go to the booths, it's everybody who's involved in CrossFit or in the fitness space, and it's cool. Like, we're all very like-minded people who are there trying to be a better version of themselves. So if you haven't been in the CrossFit Games, I highly recommend it. It's a good energy. It's fun. They have tons of food and these cool booths and stuff to do and stores. It's cool. It's awesome. I highly recommend it. Question is from Salamand. God damn it. Doloy. I'm just going to put it, dude. Sorry, dude. I'm sorry. He asked when we can see behind the scenes when you shooting and editing. I'm open to it, man. I think it'd be cool. Maybe in the near future. From the homie, Ari Key. She said, I miss you. Can we get coffee? That's my question. I miss you too, dude. I miss you guys a lot. But I miss you. We can always get coffee whenever you want, dude. Keeks and I, fun fact, used to work Cafecito together. We were baristos. It was fun. The homie, Maggie. Magzredas. Wow, I can't read for shit. And she asked, how do you manage it all? I don't. It's an attempt. It's a try. and it's an everyday practice is the proper answer. I do have a lot going on in my life, not saying nobody else does. I have a lot going on, and for me it's very important to have non-negotiables in my life. There's things that I do on every day that are non-negotiable that benefit my overall well-being and my health. That's eating well, drinking a lot of water, practicing good habits, and working out. Like those are non-negotiable. And notice I didn't put like work in there. All those other things come first and then work. Granted, sometimes work overshadows those things, but that's why those other things take priority first before the work. Because for me, my mental, my physical, my well-being is much more important than any work that I put out, because the work is something that, for me, it's second nature. It's something that I'm always going to do. I'm always going to have this urge to make stuff, to create, and but more importantly, I can't do any of that to the ability that I like to if my mind and my body aren't right. So having those non-negotiables is a big one, and and I guess that's how I go about it. That's how I manage it, is because if I don't do those things, then shit can get real twirly fast. This next question is from Tony B55. Photo editing. Highlights always completely removed. Presets. So he's talking about the highlight sliders in any editing program. I use Lightroom, and yes, so my highlights are typically moved all the way to the left. The highlights sometimes, but more than anything, it's the whites. So the whites are typically moved all the way to the left, and the highlight is what gets moved a little bit more. I'll tell you why I do it. So the reason why I do that is because my style, the type of editing that I like, is based on Kodachrome film. And Kodachrome film is not just a colorway, it's not just a color tone. Color and treatment and tones get treated on paper is typically a flat look. So for me, that flat look comes from that. And I think it's important for people to understand where their style and their look comes from, because that's where you get misses. And I think it's important for all of us to as like creators, is to go and really dig deep and understand, what your style is, where it's coming from, who your influences are. That way you understand, what you like, who you like, and why. And then that way you can understand those things and then begin to break out of it and develop your own style. So that's the reason why I do that. That's my reason. I don't know why other people do it, but for me, that's why I do it. And as far as presets go, like, I'll have to put the link where I got my presets from, because I think that's gonna be more beneficial from you guys than for me to give you mine, because I purchased some from a guy and I made them my own. I tweaked it a little bit to fit what I like. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Maggie Cavone, what's up, dude? Maggie's a fellow creator, photographer, designer. She's the shit. She asks, how do you define your photo/design style? Forever inspired by your work. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. My photo and design style, well, I guess they're a little bit different. I kind of talked about the photo one a little bit. I first heard about Kodachrome film from a teacher of mine, Mr. Jones, at Centennial Middle School. I was in 8th grade. And at the time, I was illustrating a lot. I was drawing a lot. And I hadn't really played with the camera too much. Like, I had as a kid, like, my mom bought me cameras, and we had video cameras, and I've always been attracted to them. And he had told me if I've ever heard of Kodachrome film before, and he told me that he insisted on me like looking it up. But at the time, I had like no internet or anything, so I really wouldn't know where to look. So he like showed us what Kodachrome film was. Like, he brought something for us to watch, and I forgot where it was, like on TV or something. But he brought us like this video of Kodachrome, and from then on, like, I was like in love with it. And it was cool because, it was like this new style in something that was so popular, like in the 50s. And in its time, it was cool to learn about it as a kid. And as I got older, I understood it a little bit more. And as I started taking more photos and developing my own style, it was something that was like inherited in me, and like something that I really enjoyed. So it kind of just came with me since then. And that for photo, it's really that Kodachrome film style. I really love some of my biggest inspirations are Saul Leiter. He's like my GOAT, my number one. If you look up pictures of Saul Leiter, you can see like directly, how I got inspired by him. Henry Cartier-Bresson, Annie Leibovitz is the shit. Annie Leibovitz in the Rolling Stone days, I really like. I really like her new stuff too, but I'm a big fan of like her documentation of life. Like in the Rolling Stone days, Gordon Parks is dope. Man, the list goes down, but I'm a really big fan. Oh, in the skate world, like Ty Evans, like dude, there's so many people that I like, and I like them all individually because they're people that have developed their own style in their own way and are completely different of each other, and I really like that about people. So yeah, those are some of my photo ones. And is design. In design, it's always been Contino. Contino is my goat for design. You know, his attitude towards design, the way he approaches it. You know, very much like a detective in design school. They kind of teach you to be that way as well, and I think he practices that a lot. And he really puts his foot down when it comes to doing things his way, because you know he has a reason for the way he does things, and he thinks things through, and you know puts a lot of thought and love into things that he does, and gives a fuck about what he does. And I really love John Contino for that, and for that he's a big inspiration of mine. Nathan Yonder is a big one. I have some on Instagram, but those two, like off the top of my head, are like big ones for me, especially Contino. He's the shit. I love him. I wish I could meet him. I would love to meet Contino. That would be like one out fangirl out. Like it'd be sick. My boy Trevor Farrar said, "Can I get a podcast with you? Would love to talk about things in depth." Things in depth, dude. What are things in depth? Next question is from my guy, the real Diaz M. What do you feel your purpose is in this world? Okay, we're getting deep, dude. Getting a little deep, dude. I had some time to really think about stuff like this. For me, man, I feel like my purpose in this world is to do what I'm doing, man. To do what I'm doing and to do it with love. My purpose, I think, is to do it the way I've been doing it. You know, my mom always believed and inspired me to do what I do with love and with care, and you know, to put myself in these people's shoes that I'm working for, and to be at my best when I come with these, and to always come with a smile, and to give my best to these people who you know are you know not only paying for my time, but you know asking it of me, and to do what I do. And you know it's so important for me to stay healthy mentally and physically, so then that way you know I can come and fulfill my purpose, which is to take these photos and videos and designs and to create for not only myself but you know others who ask it. And yeah, man, and just to keep doing what I'm doing, to be honest, man. So and to do it with love. So not only to be able to do it, that's one part, but the way I do it means just as much, possibly even more, than actually doing the thing. So yeah, man. Thank you for that question. That's a good one. The next one is from douche of a guy, dude. His name's Cooper Marsh, and he said, "No question, just shut your yapper when you talk." Solid question, guy. Kidding. 115 TX Media, my guy or girl, don't know, asks, "How do you know when you are finished with a photo? Strict process or by feel?" These are good questions, dude. I like this. This is fun. And it's by feel. Rule that I have is like, if the photo doesn't work in black and white, it won't work in color. As I'm editing, I'll put my preset on and I'll adjust like my highlights and everything, and I'll adjust like the contrast and stuff, and I'll flip it to black and white. And if I look at it and I flip it in black and white, and if it doesn't work, then I'll go ahead and tweak, you know, my highlights, my shadows, my darks, my whites, my blacks, and adjust it to where it works in black and white, and then flip it back in color. If you look at it and you squint, and if your textures aren't right, if your shapes don't look right, if the composition isn't right in black and white, then it's not gonna be at its best in color. So yeah, it's definitely by feel. Battery's dying, need a switch. Oh my God, if that made everything better. Oh, it did make the world better. Oh, it's already dying again, damn it. Oh, dude, that looks so much better. I'm kind of pissed now. Yeah, we'll figure it out, huh? That's the problem when you don't have lights and you're dealing with natural light. It moves a lot. We are on the last leg of questions here. Amber G, she asked how many tacos you had to buy when Amber when she won. At this time, we don't know if Amber won yet. So if you don't know about this bet, Amber had bet me that whoever got more views on Jordan's podcast has to buy the other one tacos. So, and at the moment, my podcast is out and not Amber's yet. So we don't know who's gonna win. Next question is from my boy. He's _ Diego. If Qui-Gon Jinn survived and Obi-Wan was killed, would Darth Vader have happened? Damn, dog. Way to get deep, dude. Way to get so deep, Diego. Probably not. Because isn't it like a big... And I love talking to Diego about Star Wars, and I feel like this is a better conversation to have when he's here. But if Qui-Gon Jinn survived, Darth Vader probably wouldn't happen. And this is like a big Star Wars theory. This is a big Star Wars theory, is that if Qui-Gon Jinn would have survived, then Darth Vader would have never happened, because Qui-Gon would have been the example and the father figure that Anakin needed, and not Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan was more of a brother and couldn't be as service to him as he needed, like Qui-Gon would have been. But Darth Vader redeemed himself, dude, so it's all good. My guy, hi, I'm Tony G. I might not answer this question because it's a little inappropriate. Maybe not for this platform, but maybe on a podcast I'll answer that one. But my guy Tony is a big supporter and always sends me like these good chunked messages and takes the time to do that, and I appreciate him. Not going to answer that one, but I probably talk about it on a podcast. So maybe I'll not this time, but I'll answer that one. So this next question is from the Between Me and You podcast. So Jordan and Andy Control's podcast. If you haven't listened to it, if you haven't followed it, go ahead and do so now. Couple 1-2 silly gooses. If you weren't doing photography and design, is there something else you see yourself doing? Honestly, man, nah. Like, that's kind of the whole deal with this career. No, I didn't see myself doing anything. I can't see myself doing anything else, man. I don't think I can really do anything else that's not creative. I just enjoy making things, whether if that's photo, if that's video, painting, illustrating, carving, art. I like art. I like to create things, and I can only see myself in like a creative space. I love to write. Music sounds fun, man. Any of that sounds awesome to me. I would love to do all those things, to be honest, and I plan on doing all those things. I just, for myself, I think it helps everything else, is learning how to play an instrument, or just playing music, and I write on the regular already, not creatively, but, I just write for myself. And, but I don't think I can do anything outside of creating, man. It's in my blood, it's in my bones, and I think I was built for doing something like this. A lot of my stress and a lot of my, I don't want to say anxiety, but yeah, I guess anxiety comes from, it's a gift and a curse, because you need a little bit of that. You need some of that for what I do. A healthy amount of it is good, because it helps push the boundaries on my designing and in my creative work. So, nah, man, I really can't. This is all I got. I don't think I could go work at. Yeah, I tried doing other things before, so I had to, and nah, it's not for me, dude. So this is it. Damn, this question's from the homie, Olympiada, Bobby Joe. He asked, how do you know when you're a down-ass fool, dude? It's when your socks are as high to your knees, dude. That's how you know when you're a down-ass fool. This last question is from Que Paso Alba. Alba's a friend, goes to the gym. We actually kind of talked about this one a little bit more, and all she asked was grief, and to talk about grief. And actually, we had talked about this a little bit at the gym, and grief is a tough one, and a big thing about grief, time helps for sure. And it was actually an interesting conversation, because we were in the back of the gym, and she was doing something, and she had asked me about, my pops, and she had brought up the whole grief thing, and brought up that she had asked it on the podcast, and her and I were talking, and she had lost her dad in some recent years, and obviously I had just lost my mom, and Steven with his dad, which, by the way, his dad's year anniversary is next week. So if you remember, send that guy some love, because it means more than you guys know. So, but with the whole grief thing, it's interesting, because Alba and I were talking about it. For everybody, it's different. Everybody deals with grief and deals with pain and suffering very differently, and a good friend of mine taught me that there's no such thing as right or wrong. It's just healthy or unhealthy, and there's healthy and unhealthy ways to deal with grief. And from a lot of that is, I think it's very important while you're grieving is to be around loved ones. Having loved ones helps, and it's even hard for me to like even suggest things that I'm not even gonna suggest things because I think I don't think that'll do. I think just talking about my own grief is going to be more beneficial than kind of trying to give advice about it, because I don't think that's right. But grief is a weird one, man. Like having to deal with that myself with my mom. For me, I talked about it a little bit on the end of the Slob on the Pod podcast. You know, it's been my mom passed away in January, about New Year's, and I think it was actually New Year's. And you know, at different moments between then and now, you know, my emotions were, all over the place. They say that there's the 5 stages of grief and all that stuff. And for me, it was very, it was difficult because for me, my mom raised me to be, she raised me to be the man that is sitting in front of you today. My dad worked a lot, not saying he was gone every day, but my mom's the one who molded me, the one that taught me all life's lessons, taught me to have the character that I have, to be the type of man that I am. And my dad was like that physical example of how to be, in different ways. So I'm very fortunate to have both my parents. So when I lost my mom, I felt a hole and I was empty, and I didn't want to allow myself to be happy anymore. And I had a lot of, at first you just have, it's hard to just deal with the fact that the person isn't here anymore. And part of a big grieving for me is acceptance. And a lot of that stuff sounds like kind of like corny, and you see it online, and a lot of these things you see online is like, oh, okay, that sounds cliche or corny, and it's like, until you go through it yourself, you understand it for yourself. So, but for me, at every stage of growth, I had to like accept what I was holding back at the time. So in the beginning, it was really hard for me to accept the fact that my mom was gone. And as soon as I did, I was able to grow from that and look at that a different way with a different perspective, and just appreciate that she was my mom, and be lucky and grateful, and understand that I was fortunate to have a mom like that, and to be grateful with the time that I had with her. And then, as I grew, as time passed by, excuse me, as time passed by, it was it was it was tough for me to accept me being happy. Like I didn't want to be happy around people. It was tough for me to just to enjoy myself, to enjoy life, to enjoy other people. Like after, when somebody passes away, like for me, I had so much love and support from like my family and my friends that, I was overflowed with love, and, all you can do is just give it away. But, as time passes by, old habits come back. You start, getting back into like the swing of life. And Steven, my brother, had warned me, like, it gets harder when, people stop coming over every day, stop bringing you gifts, food, stopping by, and life goes back to normal. And it did get harder. And for me, it was very hard for me to accept, my whole life I've been like a silly goose. I've always been like a high energy guy. And when life kind of went back to normal, it was hard for me to want to be that way. So that was a part for me that was really difficult. And for me, I was able to seek therapy, and that helped me a lot. And I was able to accept the fact that that's what I was hiding, was that I didn't want to be happy without the most important person in the world to me, my mom, the one who raised me and made me. And thank God I still have my dad and my brother, and I hold them very close. So, but once I went to therapy and understood that, and learned how to let that go, and understand that my mom would want me to be happy, and pursuing that, and now really giving all my love and energy to the people that are still here, and enjoying every moment with them, and being happy with them, and laughing, and using my mom's love and energy to give to other people is what's most important. So grief is growth. Grief is about growing, and about patience, and about love. And for me, that was a big one. I was actually really excited to talk about this one, because I'm now at a place in my life where I can talk about my mom's passing in a mature way, and hope that I can help others in any way that I can. And hopefully if this little segment can help do that, then that's awesome, man. Because like I said, I lost my best friend, my mom, the one that fed me every day. You know, she raised me to be who I am and inspired everything that I do. Everything that you see here, you know, was inspired by my parents and especially my mom. And yeah, she was a very special human being. For everybody that knew her, they knew what type of person she was. She was very kind and empathetic and cared for others and always went out of her way to make sure others were okay and good and taken care of, and you know, also very creative. My mom was she has studied fashion design. It doesn't like to say she was a model, but she had done modeling as well, and like just she had great taste. Like she was always dressed nice to the nines. Her house is beautiful. Like just an overall, just like a beautiful person. Like I literally think my mom was an angel that was here, and she was my mom, and I'm very thankful for that. And for that, you know, I think it's my life is dedicated to preserving who she was, and that is through my character. And I'm not perfect, and I will never be. You know, my mom is a goal, but you know, I strive to be the best person I can based on the gold standard that she and my dad had left me. So I'm very thankful for that. And with that, that is the last question that was asked, and really it wasn't a question, she just put grief, but I'm glad I can be able to talk about it, and I'm thankful, so thankful to be able to sit here in front of this camera and presenting, you know, this video to all you guys, and to be able to talk about these things in a level-headed way. And I appreciate every single one of you guys who takes the time to, you know, like a photo, send messages, like send beautiful messages, like such kind messages. Like there's times I look at my phone, I'm like, shit, dude, I am lucky. I'm very thankful for all you guys who, you know, support my work since day one when I was just on my iPhone, and, you know, to where we're at now and where we're gonna go. Like I can't thank you guys enough. I'm very thankful, and see you guys on the streets. When I hear you guys say it, you know, I'm kind of like, I know I'm like this, I'm a high energy, like silly goose guy, but when it comes to like the work and stuff, I get a little shy, like when people say nice stuff, so I just kind of like say thank you and go away, because I just want to make cool stuff. All the love you guys show me, dude, I'm overwhelmed with it all. So, but thank you guys, I appreciate it. Look out for the apparel, it's coming, I promise. My own apparel's coming out soon. I'm working on a book as far as with a photo book, and yeah, and we'll see where the career goes a little bit. It's been cool. These last 6 months have been insane. We're transitioning a little bit, and you know, I'll keep you guys updated on what goes on. But right now, I'm moving a little bit more to my personal stuff and really putting my stock into myself and investing in myself, and hoping that pays off. You know, I was very inspired by being around Matt and being around my friend Vakey, and seeing how they make this life for themselves in different ways. And I want that for myself. So I spend a lot of time, you know, being the best person I can be, and I'm grateful that I have the job and the career that I have. And you know, if I can, you know, keep making podcasts with inspirational people and sharing, you know, their story, and sharing, you know, creative people that I enjoy and sharing their stories. And if it helps somebody else, you know, I really enjoy that. And to be able to work with these really rad individuals and to be able to share that as well, you know, I'm thankful to be able to do that. So I just want to keep doing that, sharing it with you all. Hopefully that it helps you guys, you know, in any which way. You know, I don't want to go out of my way and try to become like an influencer in any sense of the word at all. I just want to be able to do me, document that, and share it with you guys, and hope that, you know, it helps in any which way. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you guys later. God. Yeah, right, dude. That would hurt.